technology to promote climate action, improve environmental sustainability, and works towards achieving the SDGs. He is a tech support specialist with Ice Age IT, a business analyst, and also the program officer of Plogging Nigeria. With a round of applause from with a round of applause from our chat box, let's invite Jisam Chris. Thank you.
Hello, guys. Good evening, everybody. I hope we are having a wonderful time in the academy. And I believe you can hear me very clearly. Please, if you can hear me, please say so in the chat box.
Very audible, sir. We can hear you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. So I'll try to add my second device so I can share my screen. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay. Once again, you're all welcome. I believe we've been learning a lot of things from the academy so far, and tonight is not going to be any different. Tonight is not going to be any different. Very shortly, we will jump into the topic for today. So just bear with me while I try to get my screen sorted. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, sorry. Just give me a moment. Trying to get this. Okay. Thank you. All right. Please confirm if you can see my screen from the chat. Please confirm you can see my screen. All right, great. Once again, thank you all for joining today's lecture. It promises to be amazing, promises to be fun, it promises to be very much enlightening. So I will just dive into it. Today, we're going to be treating the topic. The topic I was given was solid waste management, but looking from my background as a tech person, I had to bring it down to the smart solid waste management, which allows us to talk about how technology can be leveraged to help us manage our wastes properly or better in that regard. So we'll just move on quickly. I believe we don't really have plenty time. So here we go. So like it has been introduced, I am Jisam Chris, and it's a pleasure to be here. And I look forward to going through this educative section with you all. And talking about what we're going to learn today, we're looking at the table of content. We're going to introduce solid waste management, the challenges of the traditional systems. We're going to try to understand solid waste management and looking at the key components of it. Then we'll look at the case studies and success stories of where technology has been used to help with solid waste management. And then finally, we'll conclude with talking about the benefits of solid waste management. And we're going to talk about, of course, the theme of the academy in general is about wars and how they impact the environment. So we're going to talk about how war impacts waste management in general. So just stay with me. I believe we're going to enjoy this. Yeah, I see all the messages in the chat box. Thank you so much. So we jump right in. So what is solid waste management? Solid waste is defined as, we're trying to define solid waste management. So, sorry, excuse me. Welcome to a transformative discussion that will change the way we approach waste management. Smart solid waste management. Today, we will look at to confront the escalating waste crisis and explore innovative solutions that lead us towards a cleaner and greener future. During this presentation, we will explore the critical components of smart waste management, examine successful case studies, like I said before, and together we're going to embark on this journey. It is me and you. It's not a thing that you leave it for me only to enjoy. We're going to enjoy this together. We're going to learn together. It's going to be a bit more interactive because I'll be asking questions and I hope you'll be able to respond. So if you lose me at any point, just say so in the chat box so I can go back or try to do a bit more on certain topics. So our planet is facing unprecedented environmental challenges, and the traditional methods of waste management definitely they are too simple and they are not enough. So tonight we're going to be looking at how we can leverage technology to solve some of these issues. So first of all, we'll try to define waste management, solid waste. So what is solid waste? So solid waste is any discarded material that is no longer useful or required. It encompasses a wide range of items, including household waste, industrial byproducts, construction debris, and agricultural residues. Understanding the composition and characteristics of solid waste is essential for developing appropriate disposal strategies. So what I'm trying to get to here is the fact that you can't really manage waste when you don't know what that waste looks like, what state it is. I know most of us here, we went to, all of us here, we went to school, obviously, and we were taught about the state of matter. We had solid, liquid, gas, and all that and all that. So they are just like that. We have different forms of waste generated at different places at different times. So we need to understand the nature of each waste that we're trying to deal with for us to be able to provide the right solution and manage it properly. So moving forward real quickly, we'll be looking at the challenges that is being faced by traditional systems that we try to use to manage this waste. So traditional waste management methods such as landfill and incineration have significant limitations and negative environmental impact. These include the depletion of land resources, soil and water pollution, emission of greenhouse gases, and health risks for nearby communities. As waste generation continues to escalate, it is crucial to explore alternative approaches that minimize these challenges. So this whole thing I just talked about is the whole idea of why we're here tonight. So I want us to keep calm, make sure we are following. Like I said, if you lose me at any point, just say so in the chat box so that I can go back and pick you up. So moving really fast now. Understanding solid waste management. So we're trying to understand what exactly we are dealing with here. So solid waste management is vital for a clean and sustainable environment. Involves the proper handling and disposal of discarded materials. Traditional methods like landfilling and incineration have limitations and negative impact, like I said before. By adopting the principles of the tree house, by reducing, reusing, recycling, and implementing efficient waste segregation and collection systems, we can minimize waste and promote resource conservation. Educating the public about responsible waste management is crucial for success. Together, we can build a sustainable foundation for effective solid waste management and a greener future. I am very, very sure that all of us here, we can relate to what I just tried to discuss, because this is an issue. Solid waste management especially is a problem that we need to tackle, one way or the other. And having been in this academy, having signed up for this academy, it is a platform that will give us the knowledge required to be able to tackle some of these issues, and also educate others as to the dangers that could come up if waste is not being properly managed. So moving on. So transforming waste management for better. So here we're going to be looking at how we can transform the traditional methods that we talked about earlier for the betterment of the environment, also for our own benefits. So solid waste management is a forward-thinking approach. Smart solid waste management is a forward-thinking approach that leverages advanced technologies such as the Internet of Things, IoT, artificial intelligence, AI, data analytics, and other technological aspects to optimize waste disposal processes and promote sustainability. By integrating these innovations, smart waste management systems revolutionize every stage of waste management, from the monitoring and collection, segregation, recycling, and of course, waste to energy conversion. So what I'm trying to get us to understand here is that when we introduce technology to the problems of waste management, we are not just solving the problems now, we are creating solutions that will help us beyond the problem at hand. Something like waste to energy conversion is the ability of technology to not just help us solve a problem, but to convert that problem into a solution to another problem. So this is a huge advantage that technology can give us, and we are here today to learn about it, to know about it, to start thinking about how we can leverage technology in all our spaces. I believe not everybody here is a tech person. Not everybody here is into the environmental space, at least not full time. Not everybody here read something related to the environment. Some of us are still students, probably a lawyer, you're probably whatever you are doing. There is a way you can implement technology in your space that will help in waste management. So moving forward, we'll look at the key components of smart solid waste management. And some of the key components of solid waste management include, but they are not limited to this, there are others. They include waste monitoring and collection, waste segregation and recycling, waste to energy conversion. So these three We'll talk about them now. And talking about waste monitoring and collection, I talked about IoT, that's Internet of Things. We can leverage this technology by using sensors and real-time data analytics to enable precise monitoring of waste level in bins and containers. This data optimizes collection routes and schedules, reducing costs and resources usage while improving operational efficiency. So don't worry about the whole English. I'm going to try to break it down as much as I can. So what this piece of information is trying to let you know is that when you employ the use of IoT, Internet of Things, the use of sensors and data analytics in the to trying to solve in your contribution or your actions that you do in trying to solve the problem of solid waste management, you are able to leverage this technology through use of sensors. I don't know if anybody have seen a smart bin before. So there are these bins, waste bins, they look very regular, but then they are able to send signal to the authorities that, okay, at this point, I am full. So what this does is that the agency in charge of waste management do not need to drive their truck to this point, hoping that it's full at any given time. But they are going there purposefully knowing that, yes, this particular waste bin is full at this point in time because the waste bin itself have sent a signal through the sensors that are inbuilt in it to them that, okay, right now I am full. And on the larger scale, we're talking about the environment and how climate change is affecting everything. What this does is that the mileage that they have to do without these sensors will reduce drastically. I mean, having to drive to point A and B and C and D, hoping that all these points are full, is you can't compare it to when you know exactly where you're supposed to go and you go to that particular spot and pick up the trash or waste and then move back to your base for processing, sorting or recycling, whatever that might follow. So these things help us to minimize the minutes that we spend on the road that will be spent on the road by maybe the truck, the trash picking truck and all that. So this is a very huge advantage. Talking about the efficiencies in operations, the advantage is massive. You don't have to guess. You don't have to think, okay, by 6 o'clock, all the waste bins in this street should be full. You know for certain that at this point, these waste bins are full. So you're going for them. It is efficient. It is straightforward. So the next thing is waste segregation and recycling. Smart waste management emphasizes effective waste segregation at source. It promotes the use of smart bins with separate compartments for different waste streams and employs advanced sorting technologies like AI algorithm and robotic system to enhance recycling rates and minimize contamination. So this is another very huge advantage that technology can give us when dealing with waste management. So here we're trying to look at the ability of a simple waste bin to be able to know that, okay, this is a can, this is a plastic, this is nylon, this is paper, and separate these types of waste to different compartments inside the same waste bin. So for example, you have a can, you just finished your can of Coke and you try to drop it in the waste bin, and all of a sudden the waste bin tells you that you can't drop it here. You should go to block C or turn to the left or do this and that to drop your can. That this is not the right place to do it. I mean, that would be very, very amazing. And what that does is that if you're going to, for the people that collect this waste, especially for people that collect those waste for recycling purposes, there will be no contamination. And you know exactly which waste bin contains what. So you go there, you pick it up straightforward, no stress. So these are the advantages that technology gives us in terms of waste management. The third one is waste to energy conversion, and smart systems explore innovative waste to energy technologies such as anaerobic digestion and controlled incineration. These processes convert non-recyclable waste into valuable energy sources while ensuring emission control and resource recovery. So waste to energy is a big thing right now. Different companies are pouring in millions into research that will help to find more solutions in this space. So what's the whole idea about waste energy conversion is that we are able to convert our waste, use our waste. I mean, going back to our secondary school again, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So the waste that we generate contains an amount of energy, which when converted in the right way, can be used to power maybe our houses, our streets, the carnival we're going to have this coming festive period. All those things are possible. And one of the reasons why you are in this academy is for you to find out where you can fit in, where you find your niche and start looking at how you can build solutions to this regard. So I don't want to dwell on this so much right now because we'll still talk about waste to energy as we go in the course of the presentation. So to the next slide. Okay. So looking at the success stories of smart waste management. So I'll just mention a few of them. So in Singapore, there is this system that tracks waste levels in bins and send real-time data to waste management authorities and enables efficient scheduling and route optimization. In Barcelona, Spain, there is an app called Sustainable that is being used to provide information on waste collection and schedule, nearby recycling points, and tips for proper waste disposal. The Amagabic. So this is a plant that incinerates non-recyclable waste to generate heat and electricity while ensuring strict emission control. And the Amagabac is located in Denmark. So the Punes is a system that uses RFID, that's radio frequency identification, to tag waste bins and monitor collection routes, identify missed pickup, and optimize waste transportation. So these are all examples of how technology has been able to help us manage our waste in different locations. And I believe that somebody listening to me right now might have an idea of how we can have something even better in our own country, Nigeria. I think all the examples here, none of them are even in Africa, but I believe advancement in technology, our people are doing a lot of work in these spaces, and we will be able to achieve greater things when we after this academy and we've learned, we've known about this, that it's possible for us to leverage technology to improve waste management. We can now go out and find ways that we can be useful in this space, if I should use that word. So moving on quickly, my time is running. To conclude, we'll talk about war versus waste management. And so the first thing we do, we look at the challenges that waste management generally all over the world faces during wars. So During wars, some of the challenges include increased waste generation. Wars leads to a surge in waste production due to infrastructure destruction, increased resource consumption, and military activity. So I think we talked about construction debris as one of the solid waste when we were introducing the topic. So imagine the amount of buildings that go down during wars and how much waste that will be to the environment. So during wars, there's an increase in waste generation, disruption of service. Normal waste collection, treatment, and disposal services are disrupted or totally unavailable, causing waste accumulation and improper disposal. So this is another challenge that waste management faces during wars. So of course, when there is war, everything is in chaos. So you people don't even want to even think about their waste at that point. Another challenge is the environmental contamination. Improper disposal of hazardous materials like chemicals and ammunition can contaminate soil, water, and air, poisoning health risks. So during wars, obviously, due to the type of equipment, the type of ammunition that is being used to fight these wars, the environment suffer a lot in terms of pollution. Yeah, that's the word, pollution, from all angles, from the shellings that have been, the bombs, the rockets, everything causes damage to the environment. And at at the time when the war is at its peak, the environment is the least thing to be considered. Everybody wants to win the war. Nobody wants to talk about the environment at that point. So waste management suffers a lot in that regard. So health and sanitation issues, accumulated waste creation, accumulated waste creates sanitation problems, leading to the spread of disease and contamination of water sources. So this is very, very simple, and it's understandable that when there is war, there are health issues and sanitation issues, which now leads to people being the environment being neglected. And of course, when the environment is being neglected, the human beings are the ones that suffer. I mean, if you've been opportune to see a video of what's going on in Gaza and the war between Israel and Palestine and all that, you see people trying to get water to drink. It's a struggle. It's very difficult for them to do that. So these are some of the challenges that are being faced. Um, we'll still look at some other challenges, infrastructural damage and humanitarian challenges. Obviously, destruction of waste management facilities like treatment plants and landfill sites hampers effective waste management efforts. Of course, waste management becomes a low priority amid um, more immediate concern, exacerbating environmental and health hazards. So what this whole plenty English is trying to tell us is that when there is war, the environment is the least considered thing. People want to at least survive. People don't, at least let me not die. First of all, that is the first consideration. So whatever happens to the environment, we will handle it later. Then, then it becomes a challenge that even after the wars are done, that nobody comes back to try and fix the environment at the end of the day. So moving on, we'll look at the way forward. Now that we've known the challenges that waste management face during wars, what are the things that we can do better? What are the ways that we can move forward in this regard? So efforts to address waste management during wartime require coordination among international aid agencies, local governments, and organizations specializing in humanitarian and environmental aid. These efforts aim to restore basic waste management services, promote safe disposal practices, and mitigate the environmental impact of conflict. So, like I said, it's very, very difficult for you to talk about the environment when there is war, because war is something that takes the life of people. People are killed in their thousands, depending on the scale at which the war is. And it's very, very difficult to discuss the environment in the face of people being killed, people losing their livelihood, people millions of dollars in properties being destroyed and all that. So the environment takes the page, the backstage on this. So how we can move forward is to make efforts to, just like they have rules of engagement, the international bodies that always come out to call for ceasefires, peace movements and all that. We should be able to talk about the environment. It's not a crime. It's not a bad thing to want to bring the issue of the environment and the impact that the war is having on it when there is a war. We should be able to have that conversation. That is the way forward. That is how we put the environment into consideration when wars are being fought. So, having said that, we move forward to discuss the benefits of waste management. So it's something that obviously have a lot of benefits, and to discuss the benefits, I divided them into economic benefits and environmental benefits. So for the environmental benefits, proper waste management reduces landfill usage and greenhouse gas emissions, minimizes soil and water pollution, conserving natural resources through increased recycling rates. So when you apply technology, like we discussed, to the issue of waste management, you reap the benefits. You reap the benefits I just read out now. The benefits are endless. It's almost like a thousand folds, because the traditional systems cannot efficiently handle these waste management issues. And when you introduce technology and bring in smart solid waste management, you're able to gain massively. You're able to gain massively in terms of the benefit to the environment. Now, looking at the economic benefits, optimizing waste collection and transportation, leading to cost saving and creating job opportunities in waste management and recycling industries. So, of course, when you introduce technology into a field, what it does is it empowers the people. It gives room for people to learn new technology. It gives room for people to get new jobs. Of course, if you have a smart waste management system that is able to separate waste, segregate waste at source, and you have less contaminated recyclables, it means you have more recyclables to recycle. And of course, when you have more recyclables to recycle, you need more hands in the recycling firms, which means that more people will be employed. So definitely, that is a huge, huge advantage. My time is almost up, so I will just rush through. Um, okay, next slide. I hope we are learning something. Please, if you're learning something, if you're getting something from this discussion, just say something in the chat room. Encourage me, please. Please encourage me. I wanted us to have a more um chatty kind of conversation, but time is against us. It's so against us. Sorry, let me check this. Since my screen went off. Sorry, my screen went off. I need to share it again. Um, okay, I think we're back. Okay, thank you so much. Um, yeah, so smart waste management is a transformative approach that optimizes waste disposal processes and promotes sustainability by incorporating advanced technology, data analytics, and automation. We can achieve efficiency, cost saving, and environmental benefits through waste monitoring and collection, effective segregation and recycling, and resource efficient waste to energy conversion. Smart waste management systems pave the way for a cleaner and greener future. Let us embrace these innovations and work together towards a world where waste is managed responsibly, preserving our environment for future generations. So this is like almost my closing statement. It's a call for us to um, leverage technology in any way possible to get any type of advantage, any form of advantage, even the smallest form of advantage is going to be huge in the fight against improper waste management and other issues, environmental issues alike. Because if you look at it from the vintage point that I have, you will find out that the issue of improper waste management leads to other environmental problems that you might not really think are related to it. For example, climate change, the increase in greenhouse gases in the environment, it's all related to improper waste management. Because if we manage our waste properly, I'm sure that we will not have a giant island of plastic bottles on the Pacific Ocean at this moment. I am very, very sure that if we had this smart solid waste management system in place, we will not have these issues that we have today. And yeah, I talked about the giant island of plastic waste. It is real. You can Google about it. You can check it out online. There is a huge pile of plastics that is bound together somewhere in the ocean, and that is a very big problem because when these things get into the ocean, gets into the fishes, I mean, there are cases where plastics have been found in the food we eat, in the food we the fishes that we eat, and all that, even in the human body. So it's a big problem, and I believe that when we use technology, when we employ these technologies, it will give us a huge advantage in this fight against indiscriminate waste disposal. Finally, to the last slide. So this is a quote I like to close with. It says, "When you refuse to reuse, it is the earth you abuse." It's from Anonymous. So Anon with this one. So when you refuse to reuse, it is the earth you abuse. So next time when you want to throw away that plastic bottle of Coke that you just finished, you just want to drop it anywhere, think again. And remember that when you refuse to reuse, it is the earth that you abuse. When you're going for that shopping and you have plenty nylons at home that you could have taken instead of going to the shop and then picking another nylon, remember that when you refuse to reuse, it is the earth you abuse. So having said that, thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed my time with you guys, with all the chats, messages, and the response and everything. So I appreciate the audience. Thank you so much. If you have any question, this will be a good time to drop it in the chat and I will attend to it. Um, I hope we will get the slide presentation shared to us. Definitely you will. I am sure of that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So questions?
Okay, please let's have our questions. Okay, Winner Okeke, you have a question, and Maiwa has asked a question. Okay, let me call on Jisam Chris to answer these questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Mayowa. Thank you for the question. I will, I will just try to answer that. I think there are more questions coming in. Okay, to be able to use the technology, do I need to know programming? What are the skills I need? How can we go into advocacy for waste management? Okay, so you have two questions here, and I will attend to them one after the other. So, first of all, you don't really need to be a programmer. Yes, if you know programming, it will be an added advantage. But not knowing how to program is not a bad thing when it comes to being able to leverage these technologies. So, first of all, I encourage people to speak, to tell people, to educate other people. That is one of the first thing you can do, whether you are into technology or not, whether you know anything about tech or not. The first thing you can do is to tell people about how it is possible to use technology, just like you've learned tonight, to help in waste management. And if you find it very much fascinating, you can go into research, you can try to learn a few things about how you can help in any capacity and not just in coding. IoT is not all about coding. Some people do go into robotics. Some people go some people are hardware programmers. So it's actually the hardware programmers that do a lot, most of the jobs about the IoT thing. So you don't really need to be a programmer. About the second question, how can we go into advocacy for waste management? Start now, my dear. That is the answer to your question. Start now. Talk to people. Tell people. Campaign. Put it out there on your social media. Say it out loud. Shout for people when they throw it on the floor. That's how you start it. You don't need to have all the tools in the world. In your little space, make noise, tell people about it, correct people when they do the wrong thing. That is how you start. I believe I've answered your question, Mayowa. Thank you so much for the knowledge. Okay, that's not grace for you. Thank you. I appreciate that. These greenhouse gases, how do they originally emanate from? Okay, where do they originally emanate from? How dangerous can they be? Okay, this is a very interesting question. So, greenhouse gases, they are not really a problem. Normally, they are designed to keep this planet as warm as possible enough for life to exist on the planet. As a matter of fact, they are essential. They are very important for us being able to exist on the planet. But the problem now is that we have so much of them in the environment, in the atmosphere per se, that it is now an issue. It is causing global warming. So something that is designed to help us, to keep us, it's just like um it was designed to keep us safe. It was designed to help us. But now we are doing a lot of activities and we are generating a lot of it. Too much of anything is bad. That's the first thing you have to learn. So now the planet is warming up at a rate that is not sustainable, that is not good for us humans. So that is how dangerous they are. So if the planet keeps getting warmer and warmer, life on Earth will become basically unlivable at some point. Maybe not tomorrow morning, maybe not next week, but definitely at some point it will become unbearable. And the loss of ice caps in the Arctic circle and everything is causing release of unknown diseases, bacteria. The dangers are you can't really quantify. It is too big. So how they originally originate is through our activities. We release them when you walk, with the energy that we human beings and everything on earth, everything else on earth have. They come out through us. Carbon dioxide, we breathe it out. Like, I mean, if you stop breathing it out, you're dead. So we generate these things, and we are generating it at an unsustainable rate. That is why it's dangerous. Um, that is for you, Winner Okeke. Thank you so much. Kehinde John says, are there laws that regulate waste management systems in Nigeria? Yes, there are laws, and I am very, very sure that during the course of this academy, you will learn a lot about these laws. There will be a session dedicated to teaching you about these laws and how you can leverage them to increase awareness and also your level of advocacy. So thank you very much. I don't see any other question here. If that's all, I really appreciate you guys. I enjoyed my time, like I said before. And if you have any more questions, my contacts, I displayed it. You can send me an email, chris.ikechi@pluggingnigeria.org. That's my email. You can send me an email there, and I will have time to answer you. I'm very sure of that. So thank you, guys. Back to you, Gisam, Rodney.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris. This was really an insightful lecture, and I'm very sure the participants have learned a lot. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much. Okay, now back to the participants. I think we have to head back to our lecture, our part two. So let's leave the call now and go back to the group for the second part of today's lecture. Thank you all for being present. Let's go.